Hey guys, Fireman Dan here. Welcome to War Thunder. I thought I would do something to show you how to fly helicopters and some of the tricks I've learned. First off is controls. So let's go up here to control, select on helicopter, and there's a few things you need. First one is hover. So you want to key for the hover mode, and I use H hover. And you want the hover height axis. This so you can go up and down in a hover. And I use the same keys that I use for my collective. So left shift, left control, up and down, and the mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down. And these are the access settings that I use. You can look through those on your own time. Next you'll need your movement keys. Right, so your collective pitch, just so you can go up and down. Same thing as the hover, left shift, left control, mouse wheel up, mouse wheel down. And these are my settings here. You'll need your pitch, roll, and yaw axis. So WASD, Q, and E. Next, Ballistic Computer. So B for Ballistic Computer. This is what I use. The Ballistic Computer, if you don't know what the Ballistic Computer is, it shows you the impact point on the ground where your unguided munitions will hit. And not all helicopters have them. Not all aircraft have them. I only select only a few, usually top tier ones. Now for your weapons, you want... let's go back a little. Weapon lock air to air is X. This turns on and turns off your seeker head for the air-to-air missiles. This is not required. I use this so I can turn my air-to-air seeker off. Because let's be frank, if your seeker's on and you got that growl in your ear, it gets annoying. Weapon lock air to ground, radar lock. These are all for the radar of the these two are for the radar of the Apaches. This one is for the German Eurocopter with a fire and forget missile. Because if you got the seeker box form and accidentally lock onto a friendly tank, you obviously do not want to fire that missile, so you'll need a key to unbind it. But unless you're using the German Eurocopter, this is not required. Unless you're using one of the Apaches with the radars on them, the H-64D, these aren't required either. Down the weapon right here. You want something to fire your nose gun. If you have one, most of them do. Where is it? Something to fire your rockets. You need to fire air-to-ground missiles. Fire air-to-air missiles. Now, like I said, by pushing Alt, it'll turn on the seeker head for your air-to-air missiles, and pressing it again will fire them. But if you do not fire it, that growl keeps going on, which is where this comes into play, because you can turn it off. What else do we need? So, we got the hover height, we got the movement keys, we got your fire to air to ground missiles, we got your fire air to air missiles, and we need stabilization, sight stabilization. This is the sight stabilize. I use it on my right mouse button because I can easily lock on the enemy aircraft that are coming at me to shoot me down. So I can sit there, I'll show you in game, or in the thing here, yeah. But I can sit there and spam this until I get a lock on them. And then I also use sight destabilization if, for whatever reason, you want to break that lock. This is not required as well, but I use it. So let's go ahead and get in the game here, and I will show you what we got going on. Well, test flight. Alright, so here we are. If you see my collective over there going up and down, right? That's how I move up and down. Basically increases or decreases my power. Then you got your forward, backwards, left, right, and then you got your the rotate, which is Q and E. From here you got your H for hover, which puts you into a hover. And then you can still move around a little bit. So see A, D, pitch forward, pitch backwards. And the reason you may want to do this is say you're looking through there's something behind that tree. You may want to move left a little bit to get around that tree. You may need to turn your helicopter a little bit just to get a good lock on, because you see that box down there? That plus has to be inside that box in order to launch your air-to-ground missiles. And if you're way down here, you may need to pitch down just to fire. And then if you look on the left-hand side where it says to hover, like right over here, I can't really see it, but hover 100%. Now I'm going up. Turn it down, now I'm going down. And there's something you need to be cautious about when you are going up and down. If there's the vortex ring, you'll get an error message. If you decrease your height too slowly, I'm trying to get it. It'll say vortex ring, you gotta move. It's like side to side. You'll be dropping like a rock. And I unfortunately do it quite regularly. And since I sit low to the ground, I tend to crash when I do it. It's just something to watch out for. Now next, look at the bottom of the screen. You see where it says Ballistic Computer off, Ballistic Computer on? I'm pressing B. So if I have my Ballistic Computer off, those missiles go somewhere. But if I turn my Ballistic Computer on, that's the impact point of those missiles. Rockets. Right, let's go back in the hover height over here. Next, this jet. Here I am, see, I'm smashing on my right mouse button to lock, and boom. Hang on. There, I got a lock on it. Now I can start shooting my gun. I don't actually want to, crap, I didn't actually want to shoot him down. But if he's coming at you head on, you can hear him. You'll hear him coming. So if I'm sitting there shooting these targets down here, and I hear that jet coming off my right or left, I immediately turn off my hover, and I turn to it, and then I start to jerk around a little bit, juke around, just to try to throw their aim off. And then you gotta look for it. And when you see him coming, you just smash the right mouse button, the lock button, until you get that lock, and start shooting. Let's go ahead and go to the hover here. Next is air-to-ground weaponry. Some helicopters, such as this one, you can only fire one missile at a time, right? So watch, if I fire this one here, and then I fire another one, I no longer have control of that missile, right? Anything with Hellfires, such as the Apaches, the G-Links, what else has Hellfires? Premium Italian one has Hellfires. The Cobra has Hellfires. You can fire multiple off at the same time because it follows your laser. Right, so I'll have these two targets right here. I'll fire one, maybe count the 5, and then I'll fire a second one. Right, and as soon as this hits, I go up here, and I hit that one. And I'll bring out the Apache here in a minute to show you that. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention under controls is your night vision. What's it called? NVGs? Yep, switch NVG mode. I use N for night vision. That's your thermal. So, let's deploy these weapons here. I'm going to right click on here and it's going to lock on. One thing to note is occasionally, I don't know if it's a bug right now, but if you would lock onto this, your target would suddenly shoot up into the sky like that. And it's really annoying. But I'm going to lock on, and if you look, my cross is down in that little box down there right below that, so I can fire a missile. But if I were to turn, see how that's flashing? I'm pressing spacebar, nothing's happening. Turn again, it's in there, and I fire my missile. Bang. Alright, let's lock up one of these tanks over here. Which one do we want? Let's take out the Abrams. So right now, if I were to fire, that missile would hit dead center, right? But what if I don't want to hit dead center? What if I know his right side is dead, but I want to hit the left side of him? Lock onto him, hit the lock button again, and now you got this circle. You're still locked, and it will still track him, but now you can aim individually. So I want to hit him right there. I'm going to fire a missile. Bang. Right? See? Same for this one. Now let's hit him. Let's take out his track. Why you want to take out his track? I don't know. But let's take out his track. Boom. His track's dead. Let's hit him center mass. Hit him center mass, alright. Went through his gun barrel and into his... Wow, okay. Bam. Alright, that's really all there is to it. Now let me go get the Apache, so I'm going to show you the Hellfires, and I will show you the air-to-air missiles. Let's go over here. Let's grab, well, I want to grab this one. Just click. Because I want the air-to-air missiles. Let's go up. Alright, that jet's coming at me, right? Got a lock on him. I pressed X to see how my secret head's on. X turns it back off. Alt turns it on. Fired. Smack. Now let me show you about what I was talking about here with two Hellfires. So whenever I fire this, you're going to see a number pop up. That's the time to impact. I'm going to count like 4 or 5 seconds, then I'll fire a second one. What this is good for is exactly what you see here, two vehicles side by side, but especially if they're not tanks, especially if they're anti-air vehicles. Something with the missiles, such as a Tunguska or the Roland or something like that. You can fire one, fire the next one, and hit them both at one time. So you see that number counting down 5, 4, that's the impact time. I'm going to fire a second one. Bam. Bam. Pretty cool, right? Just like these right here, right? So that's the Hellfires. Now, some tips and tricks about flying around. I see a lot of people that take off from the helipads, and they just go up, and up, and up, and up. That's how you get shot down. Don't do that. Take off from your helipad, and go somewhere. Right? Trees aren't very good because radar still locks on you behind trees. Let's say these hills, for example. I make them up and fly up behind these hills. And pitching up, pitching down, increases your altitude, decreases your altitude, plus your speed. And you also got your collective. You don't have to keep it a full collective like that. See? Flying along. And the bar on the right over there shows you your altitude and shows you if you're gaining altitude or you're losing altitude. I'm going to come back here and I want to hover behind this mountain. But watch what happens. If I hit spacebar or hit hover, you see that going up 5, 6 meters per second? You're going to gain a bunch of altitude. That may be a bad thing. It usually is a bad thing, especially if you're trying to hide behind a mountain like this. So what I would do, I would stay low. I would drop my collective down and kind of put up my collective to try to keep my my indicator over there around 0. Once I'm nice and slow, then I'll hit the hover. I'm still down low here. So let's turn off hover. Let's gain some altitude. Right when I'm about to peek over that hill, I'll go ahead and turn the hover mode on. Increase it until I come up. And there we go. That's all you really gotta do. Oh, there's the crash jet. There's the enemy Tunguska. Now one last thing to note, on the right hand side of the targeting box down there, you see that where it says 8,000 meters? That's your minimum range and your maximum range. So See how that's flashing? My missile will not hit that target out there. And if I come down here, it's flashing. That's way too close. So you need to be somewhere in there to fire.
Number 3, anything?
A lot of these missiles, you can hit. Hitting jets are kind of difficult, very difficult, unless you're in the KA-50. But the helicopters, you can tend to hit the enemy helicopters pretty easy, especially if they're hovering. But the one thing to note is make sure that when you lock on an enemy helicopter, they're in range. If they're flying forwards, you may be able to get by with something like this, because by the time your missile impacts, they will be in range. So you don't necessarily have to fire in your engagement range. That's just a little tip right there. Let's go ahead and lock him up. Go ahead and fire. Nice little flight time there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. There we go. So yeah, that's all there is to it. And like I said, when you're sitting here, we all know everybody likes to jump into a plane and go after those helicopters, and we've done it ourselves. You got your RWR down there in the bottom right. It's not blinking anymore because I just killed him. It will be a solid flashing, and with a tone beeping mean you're being locked on. That's usually a good indicator to get out of the way. If you got a missile warning system on your helicopter, some do, some don't, it'll tell you. It'll be up there where the compass is flashing, and you'll get a warning tone saying missile launch. And down on your RWR, you'll see like an outline of a missile from where it's coming from. If you see that, turn off your H, off your hover, and just hit the dirt. Get behind whatever you're hiding it behind. Aircraft, like I said, you'll hear them coming. So whichever way they're coming from, turn off your hover and just aim at them and start looking for them. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be down low and difficult to see. Another indicator is your radar warning. If the jet has a radar on board, if you're sitting here and you see something pinging you off your right-hand side, and you have no friendly aircraft over there, chances are it's an enemy jet coming to kill you. So pay attention. This is Fireman Dan. If you have any more questions, go ahead and leave a comment. If you liked the video, hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time.